Welcome back to the Writer's Room. I'm so happy you're here today. We are going to talk craft. I'm reading a novel by Jonathan Franzen. It's his new novel that came out on October 5th called I'm going to say the corrections because that was one of his earlier novels. This is Crossroads. So in Crossroads, it's a family-based novel that takes place in a city kind of suburb outside of Chicago in the 1970s. And the reason I want to bring this up from a craft perspective is that it's one of the most fascinating. I don't know if we want to call it the conceit or the setup or the premise of the book, but essentially, Franzen does something I think that from novelists of other eras and makes it very modern, even though it's set in the 1970s, makes it very much like of this more modern life that we're living. He took a central value, the value of goodness, being good, and he pits everything in the story. It's told in multiple points of view, different family members, and they're all in their narratives wrestling deeply and painfully with this value of goodness, of being good. The father of the family is a pastor. There are 3 teenage children. The mother has some mental health issues, and I'm not going to give away anything of the story if you're going to read it, but I want to highlight that this could be a really interesting writing prompt and or way to structure your next project. You could take a central value, sin, evil, goodness, greed. You could do the 7 deadly sins, go through that list. You could do a value of conservation. You could, so the cool part is it gives attention to the story. It gives everyone something to either be aligning with or fighting up against. In this case, they're very much all fighting up against. They want and they believe they're desiring to be good and making deals with themselves to be good and then constantly breaking them. So it creates fabulous interior tension. And then, of course, as we know, that comes out in our relationships when we're wrestling with something inside, we're battling up against it with spouses and kids and community members. So see if this sparks something for you. You could just brainstorm some qualities, values, issues even, and then pick one that interests you and start writing for 20 minutes from one person's, your own or a character, if you're writing fiction, point of view around that value. Then bring in another voice. It's like a choral harmony. You're gonna have one person start singing and then another person comes in, and it gives the entire piece such cohesion, because anywhere Franzen takes us in this novel is also going to we know that we're held. We understand as the reader what we're up against and what the stakes are. And he does a great job. You could say goodness schmoodness. If you had a bunch of people who couldn't care less about being good, the book would have no tension. It wouldn't be interesting. They wouldn't be fighting for their lives basically around this and self-destructing when they can't live up to their ideal. It creates fabulous tension from something that isn't guns and car chases and explosions. It's from a sense of morality. So I feel like he took a page from writers from the Elizabethan era and the Middle Ages and into the Victorian era and really did something interesting here. So what does that spark for you? The assignment, if you want it, is to choose a quality, value, or issue, and then start writing from one point of view, and then start adding voices and see if that sets up. You could even insert this into something you're writing that you feel like doesn't have high enough stakes or enough tension and conflict. This will put it in for sure. And definitely check out Crossroads if you want to see a master at work. Remember, we have 2 workshops coming up, and you can get access to both of these in a very special way as part of our sort of Black Friday Thanksgiving celebration. The workshop on how to find, attract, magnetize your ideal readers so that people want to buy your books before they come out and keep reading you and work with you further. And then the second follow-up workshop, the first Monday in December, is how to make 6 figures or more with your book. Hello, no more starving artists. We are a stand for prosperous artists, how to really create abundance for ourselves and others while making a huge impact in the world. So join us for one or both of those workshops. All the details are here in this email, and I cannot wait to see you on the next Writing Room.